the epicness of Wano continues, and the more, I guess, the insight of what's gone on over the past 4 years is kind of brought to light, as well as the connection between Otama and Ace. Promise. Apparently, they made a promise like once Ace returns, or once he returns to Wano, she becomes a Kanoichi, she can join Ace's crew. We all know that's not going to happen. But I'm wondering because are some of these spade pirates out there that Ace had? Because if that's the case, maybe they can still run with that. So, and I just think there's something that has to be there has to be some type of closure with that. Somewhat of a rundown of what's going on with, I guess, what happened 4 years ago. We're going to find out another headliner is Drake, so he's not a calamity like a lot of people thought. So joined Kaido's forces. Now I don't know if this was Drake's doing, but apparently the 5 samurai who guarded the village called Amigasa, the Amigasa village, that got totally wiped out by Drake. It looks like all underlings. I like how Oda is just straight. The pacing, man, the pacing in these past few chapters alone has been great, because we got the backstory of Ace, or the connection between Ace and Otama. That took a few panels at least. So Oda's like getting all this stuff done because he wants to get the hype of Wano over joining up eventually. And I kind of do find it ironic because Ace kind of ended up on the shore the same way, I guess similar way that the Sunny did, and where Luffy met Otama, Ace did the same thing. So that was kind of cool. But I guess Hitetsu kind of like screaming at Luffy because he was so blunt in saying that Ace is dead to Otama. It's just, even if that's true, there's a better way of laying it out, which Luffy's always been kind of blunt. So this the part I guess that we see Luffy. I mean, this is how quick the pacing is, because Luffy went straight into his Wano gear. Right, he's not in the samurai armor, at least not yet. He's not. So I do like it, the kimono that Luffy's got on. So then this is like, what the fuck part of the chapter. Then he gets a blade from Luffy, and the first thing I saw when I saw that is like, and it's kind of like confirmed it's a cursed sword. That is going straight to Zoro, and by the end of the chapter that could be the case. So it's one of the 21 great swords. It's Nidai Keitetsu, and apparently this is another cursed sword. So I'm telling you. And there's already speculation that Zoro would get a new sword in Wano anyway, so this makes perfect sense. Because Luffy shows us how he's going to use it, because he doesn't know how to use a sword. He tried that in Arlong Park against Arlong. That didn't work. Remember what he said? I can't use swords like Zoro, so why would Luffy have a sword like that? Unless it's not going to Zoro. And he says you will be cursed by that. So you got Luffy and, I guess, running with Otama on his back to try and get her to safety. So a doctor, Hitetsu says, I know a doctor, it can help you out with this. This may lead them straight into the main, I guess the flower capital where the Shogun is, the Orochi's, what the wasteland is with, I guess, with the contaminated water from the factories. Now, I did think maybe it has something to do with the artificial devil fruits, and that could be the case, but when it comes to like chemicals of the devil fruit being in the water itself, we still don't know how she acquired that devil fruit. So the fish in that were drinking the polluted water have already died or something because it's poisonous. So according to Luffy, it's like it looks so delicious, but obviously the smoke is polluted. It kind of sucks. This is like one of the biggest parts of Wano. We see, I guess, a couple of samurai fighting with someone, and at first it looks like, because of the way he was talking, it's like, wait, a woman? Is that Sanji? It turns out it was freaking Zoro. And, man, Zoro just cleans these guys' clogs, no problem. And, as we found out, Zoro is wanted on Wano. Okay, what's new? So it's great to see Zoro reunite with Luffy. Gives you that nostalgia vibes, because it's one of the first 2 Straw Hats. So Luffy, at first I thought, what is this a look-alike? But no, it turns out it's Zoro. His reaction was priceless, and Luffy just hugs Zoro like he did with Sabo. So I think he's gonna give Zoro that blade, because why else would Luffy have a cursed sword? What happens? Zoro kind of gives like the rundown about they're going to team up to try and get Otama to safety. They may end up meeting with the Sanji and the rest of the crew. I don't know which island they ended up. Even so, like I said, I think Oda is going to get to the Straw Hat reunion before the end of the year, but for sure. Because if the goal was for Luffy to separate from the crew, we would not have had this now. So unless Zoro, because he's wanted, ends up getting captured, which I don't see, even if it is Hawkins. So, and the first thing you see when you see Hawkins, right, and his men, the father's going to get taken out, and maybe that's when, after that, when maybe Luffy or Zoro hockey up and then knock out the father, because you know those two right there are going out. Hawkins may end up coming up with a solution to try and ally with Luffy and Zoro, because he does say you can follow the strong or disobey them, live your life hiding. Sounds similar, but not really in terms of what Law said to Luffy way back when. It's just the only way to survive in the new world is to work on the Yonko or take them out. And that's kind of like similar here, because obviously follow the strong, you follow the Yonko, or disobey them and try and take them out, hide in your life. So I wonder what Hawkins is really going to do. I think he may end up teaming up with them, because I don't see Hawkins fighting Zoro and Luffy, especially. But guess we have 2 weeks to wait because there's no chapter next week. Sucks, but you know what? We're already with Zoro and Luffy getting that reunion, so that was kind of cool. So the one hype just continues, and man, hopefully Sanji and the rest of the crew will actually join up with Luffy. That'll be kind of cool. And it turns out, I guess, Wano does really get the news, or if they don't, then they're really hiding it, because Luffy was like, "Yo, you should have got the news about Ace and the Marineford, what happened in Marineford." But that may be the case, but I don't know if Otama gets the news or if it's kept from us. So, because it's obvious that Kaido gets the newspaper, we've seen that already. So, anyway, I like this chapter. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Do you think that Hawkins is actually going to join Zoro and Luffy? Do you think he's going to fight him? That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Like this review if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Bye.